Hold up, you're about to discover the hidden world of Thailand's king, and honestly, his lifestyle is something else entirely. We're talking about a man who literally owns more cars than most people have seen in their lifetime, flies private jets like they're taxis, and once threw a 4-day funeral for his pet dog. Yeah, you heard that right. His pet poodle got more respect in death than most celebrities get in life. This is King Maha Vajiralongkorn, and his daily traditions are absolutely mind-blowing. So if you've ever wondered what it's really like to be the world's richest monarch, stick around because you're about to get an exclusive peek into his extraordinary world. Let's start with something pretty wild. King Vajiralongkorn doesn't just fly, he owns the sky. Imagine having a personal collection of 38 aircraft. Yes, 38. We're not talking about just a couple of Cessnas here. His fleet includes 4 Boeing 737s, 3 Airbus aircraft, 21 helicopters, and even Russian-made Sukhoi superjets worth $50 million each. Each one. But here's where it gets even crazier. His Boeing 737 isn't some regular airplane. The interior is absolutely decked out. We're talking gold-plated everything, and we mean everything. The bathrooms, the cockpit, the walls, basically if you can think of it, it's been covered in gold. The whole thing looks like a 5-star hotel took flight. The annual maintenance alone for this aircraft collection costs millions and millions of dollars. That's not including fuel. That's not including crew salaries. We're just talking about keeping these machines in perfect condition. What really fascinates fans is that the king doesn't just own these planes. He actually flies them himself. He's a trained pilot qualified to fly Boeing 737s, F-16 fighter jets, and even Northrop F-5s. So occasionally he takes the controls of his own mega-million-dollar aircraft. Imagine being that good at your job that you can literally afford to be your own pilot. Alright, so if you thought the aircraft collection was excessive, buckle up because the king's car collection is on another level entirely. We're talking about over 300 high-end vehicles. 300, that's roughly 1 car for every day of the year. The highlights of his collection: a Maybach 62 limousine worth $700,000, a Mercedes S-Class at around $100,000, Rolls-Royces, Cadillacs, and so many exotic cars that most collectors could only dream about. But here's the thing, these aren't just weekend hobby cars sitting in a garage. The king is actively involved in cycling events and traveling in style, which means these vehicles actually get used. What makes fans so fascinated by this collection is the sheer variety and rarity. He's not just buying any luxury car, he's acquiring pieces of automotive history. Some of these vehicles are one-of-a-kind models. And here's the reality check. The insurance, maintenance, and storage for 300 cars would bankrupt most countries. For the king, it's just a Tuesday. Now let's talk about something truly legendary. In May 2019, when the king was officially crowned, he wore something absolutely spectacular: the Great Crown of Victory. This isn't just a fancy hat you pick up at the mall. First of all, this crown weighs 16 pounds. That's right, 16 pounds of pure gold sitting on top of your head. Imagine the neck workout just staying upright. But the weight is the least impressive part. This crown is inlaid with gems and topped by a massive diamond from Kolkata, India. We're talking about a diamond that was specifically selected and presented to the king as a symbol of his power and prestige. The coronation itself, it lasted 6.5 hours and cost the nation $31 million. The ceremony involved rare elephants parading through the streets, ancient Buddhist rituals blended with Hindu Brahmin ceremonies, and so much gold and ivory that it looked like a scene straight out of a historical epic film. What fascinates people about this tradition is that it represents centuries of monarchy and power compressed into one day. The ceremony wasn't just about the crown, it was about legitimizing his rule through these ancient, elaborate rituals. And yes, the crown now sits as one of the most valuable and historically significant royal regalia in the entire world. Here's a story that sounds completely insane until you realize it actually happened. During the COVID-19 pandemic, when hotels around the world were shut down and people were stuck in their homes, the king had other plans. He decided to book an entire luxury hotel to himself in the Bavarian Alps in Germany. But it's not just that he booked the hotel, he booked the entire place exclusively. Not just a suite, not even multiple suites, the whole building. One entire floor was reserved for him and his entourage, and nearby Lake Stornberg provided the perfect alpine scenery. Here's what makes this particularly wild. wild. The king reportedly spent around $1 million per month staying at this hotel. That's not an exaggeration. In a world where the average person is working from home on a modest salary, the king is spending $1 million monthly on accommodation. Plus, get this, he didn't just accept the hotel as it was. He brought his own furniture and decor and redecorated the place to his liking. He basically said, "This 5-star hotel is nice, but I'm gonna make it more me." The tradition here isn't just about luxury, it's about absolute control over your environment. Fans are fascinated because most people can't even imagine what it would feel like to stay in one exclusive location for months, let alone own that option completely. The king is known for one particular fashion choice that has absolutely captivated and sometimes scandalized the world. He wears crop tops, in public, casually, without apology. Now for context, this is absolutely unconventional for a Thai king. Thai monarchs are traditionally expected to dress formally and conservatively. The king looked at that tradition and basically said, "No thanks." He's been photographed multiple times wearing a midriff-bearing tank top while cycling around Switzerland and other parts of Europe. But here's the thing. It's not just about the crop tops. His entire wardrobe is legendary. We're talking about a closet so massive that it's probably bigger than most people's apartments. His collection includes designer pieces from the world's most exclusive brands, and each outfit is more luxurious than the last. What really fascinates fans is that he apparently changes outfits more often than some people change their sheets. His personal style is extravagant, like he looked at regular royal fashion and decided to make everything 10 times more fancy. His accessories alone are worth small fortunes. Every watch, every piece of jewelry, every designer item contributes to an overall aesthetic of absolute opulence. The tradition here is personal expression at the highest level. He's not constrained by tradition or expectation. He wears what he wants, how he wants, and the world just has to accept it. Alright, so most kings have hobbies like golf or polo. Not this king. The king of Thailand is absolutely obsessed with cycling. But when he cycles, it's not like your average weekend bike ride. The king regularly leads massive cycling events around Bangkok. These aren't informal community rides. They're major productions. When he decides to go cycling, entire streets get closed down. One event involved a 39-kilometer cycling route through the city. Thousands of people participate, and the king is right there, leading from the front. But here's what makes this tradition unique. The bikes he rides are probably worth more than most people's cars. We're talking high-end models that professional cyclists would be jealous of. It's like he approached cycling and thought, normal bikes are fine, but I need something extraordinary. What's fascinating about this tradition is that it's actually one of the more relatable aspects of his lifestyle. He's not just hoarding wealth, he's actively participating in something he loves. He gets exercise, he engages with his people, and he does it in style. Fans love this because it shows that even the richest person in the world can find genuine enjoyment in a simple activity. And now, we arrive at the story that might be the most bizarre and touching at the same time. The king had a pet poodle named Fufu, and when Fufu passed away in 2016, the king didn't just say goodbye, he gave that dog a 4-day Buddhist funeral ceremony. This wasn't a casual pet memorial, this was a full elaborate Buddhist funeral with all the traditional rites and ceremonies. The king treated his deceased pet with the same respect and formality that most people reserve for human family members. But wait, there's more. Before Fufu passed away, the king had officially appointed him as an Air Chief Marshal of Thailand. Yes, an actual military rank. Fufu was seen attending formal events dressed in military attire complete with medals. In 2009, a leaked video showed Fufu celebrating his birthday, being fed cake by members of the royal entourage, all while the king watched proudly. What makes this tradition absolutely fascinating to fans is that it reveals a completely different side of the king. Beyond the luxury jets and the designer clothes and the palaces, there's a person who genuinely cared about his pet. He gave Fufu respect, status, and ultimately a farewell that honored their relationship. This tradition shows that even in the most extravagant lifestyle, there's room for genuine emotion and loyalty. So there you have it, 7 absolutely insane luxurious traditions of King Maha Vajiralongkorn that have fascinated the world. From golden aircraft to private mountains of automobiles, from crop tops that challenge tradition to a 4-day funeral for a beloved pet, his lifestyle is like nothing else on the planet. Now here's where you come in. Drop a comment below and tell us, which of these 7 traditions shocked you the most?